7? Sure. I mean, there's no way we are missing again, right? Yep, this is way better. And I'll tell you, man, this is how you absolutely demotivate aggro decks. Back to 30, easy. It feels like something we should do, right? Let's go. Let's show them how to Liliana. So we will have a huge problem right here. We can go for Shelly, but we need something that exiles. I mean, double Disfigure kinda does it. Hello everyone, it's Sloth here, and today the mere control that has one goal: killing every single creature in Mythic. Is that enough to rank up? Oh boy, you will be surprised when you see the final results with this one, but I'll tell you, we kinda ranked up very easily with this one. It seems that removing creatures is the only thing you need to do to just be high Mythic. So the idea is that Intimidation Campaign together with Silver Scrutiny and Teferi, those are the blue spells that refill. Rest of the deck tries to kill everything, one for one, until they have no creatures anymore. With Liliana, you can discard cards wrong for the matchup, and it doesn't really hurt you, while also she is still a removal. Alright guys, enough talking. I know you want to see some creatures dying and red decks exploding, so I've got your back, man. And if you want to support the channel, check out the Patreon. You get earlier access to all of the decks, and you can be immortalized in one of the videos, while also helping the channel and making content like this possible. Like, this is the holy content, just killing all the creatures in standard, come on. Alright guys, so let's have some fun and enjoy. Alright, our opponent fast and furious, so let's prepare some removal, shall we? We will remove everything, then play Scrutiny and remove everything, and that's the game plan. Is that good enough for Mythic? Seems like it. Absolutely seems like it. I could go for Affliction to prevent 1 damage, but I think we don't need to. We should not need this. We have 1 instant, 1 sorcery, so we probably don't want to remove anything with the Affliction on this turn at least, unless we have to. Here we go, not going... Man, they cannot wait 1 turn for Offspring, it's too slow, they need it fast. Isn't that crazy? Let's keep removing creatures until they have none. When they are getting offered such a good value engine, 3 mana, 2 cards basically to remove it, and they say no. I need to go too fast to get 1 extra card for single point of mana. It's just not good enough. So, and they have 2 more creatures. That means we need to remove 2 more creatures, you guessed it. Let's try to make sure that our next draw is not Underground River, because that's not amazing. And what do we go for? I mean, the Affliction really hits very nicely here. They will probably scry. Alright, going full swing, I love it. They really shouldn't bump anything here. Like, they should not. But they're tempted by the hero, right? Yes. It's like, man, it's basically like the One Ring. They're just getting tempted. Why wouldn't you take me? I'm a buff spell. I'm a buff spell. You want this extra damage. And they're like, yes, I need to follow the damage. So, they might have something with white, like Lawrence Escape, so there's always a risk, but you just play the card and you see if that was enough. Well, that gets exiled, and you can see how Anoint with Affliction is really nice in the current, situation. I will probably go on this with the Scrutiny on this turn, honestly. We need some extra value. Let's go with... I actually want to go with this. I don't want to show the Fountainport, because I want my opponent to think that I have more removal. Because we obviously have more removal, right? We drew 7 lands, by the way. Alright, sure. They will get the value. So on this turn we are ignoring basically everything. They will get the Scry. They know that... Okay, so see? It's damage, nothing more. That's nice, that's nice. And they will lose part. See, they don't play into the board because they learned it too late. So last time they should do it, this time they shouldn't do it. They played exactly the opposite. And we're here for it. I think we go for the Fraud or Disfigure, depending on the situation. We have a lot of life, so we can be, a bit more aggressive here. And I'm not really sure how to play with Shelly. I don't really want to block with it, but maybe it's good way. Maybe it's good. We can go to 7 mana for Virtue, but it will be too slow probably, because we cannot take any of the turns off until they take the turn off. So let's see it. We have 1 removal piece for this turn. Oh, and so do they. That's really insanely good for them. What can you do? Nothing more, huh? So I could kill the quest caller. That would mean that hero dies to Disfigure. That's really tempting, and this is colorless mana. This is mouse, right? So they will play it. I honestly think this is a good deal. We prevent the scry, we get less damage, and we allow this to die on the next turn. We still have some work, especially with draws like this. That are extremely bad, honestly. I will play the Fountainport because I think we have to go for Virtue. That might mean we die, but that also means that we get Shelly on the next turn, and I think we have to go with it. So not the play I wanted to make, but the play I was forced to make. And let's see our champion, how good at magic he is. Can he play all of the cards and target the Heartfire hero, making sure that he stays Mythic in high rank? Yep, that wasn't a hard decision. Alright, double strike, so this is already 10 damage. Perfect. Oh, yeah, 10 damage, exactly. So we will have a huge problem right here. We can go for Shelly, but we need something that exiles. I mean, double Disfigure kinda does it. Kinda. I can use the map tokens to make sure that I get a good trade. So what do I want to do? I probably want to double Disfigure this when they target it for double strike. I think so, right? We need to think it through, because this is the winning or losing turn. We're at 3. We can take a bit of different damage, but very little. And I don't really want to pain myself, but maybe I should. Oh man, we can draw 2 cards. Okay, I just realized the play. We can draw 2 cards. And I mean, we should do it now, I think. Especially if we hit the right card. That's why Shelly is so important. Go for the throat, very nice. Man, I'm so happy with this play. So we can kinda kill everything right now. Do we give them the extra card, or we just force the game on our terms right now? They can deal 3 damage with this, which is not amazing. Double Disfigure gets it to 0, and we still have 1 removal piece. That's 2 mana, and we can draw another card. It's not the worst. It's not the worst. But I think we can do it. If they target this with double strike, it's a 4/4. I want to have full flexibility because I think we will get more value this way. I think they will try to, you know, be a bit of a greed lord. That's my guess, but we will see. They might use get lost on our Shelly, but we cannot really prevent it, and we are getting Shelly back on the next turn. That's a mouse, that's a lot of mana already. And it doesn't have haste. When we see the last spell, we can make our play. Right now they don't do too much. They will target the hero. Alright. Don't forget double Disfigure gets -4/-4. Alright, so we go for this one. This doesn't kill Shelly. There is nothing. There is absolutely nothing. See? We played it perfectly. 0 damage to my face, as we like it. For all those that ask why not cut down, well, the cut down would be very different here, wouldn't it? And we take 1 damage. while winning the game. And you can see Fountainports, how amazing they are, and our opponent gave us those tokens, so they only have this probably, sure. And I will draw a card if you allow me, my friend. And this is how you absolutely take over the game, super quickly. We're on the verge of dying, and look at us, at 8 basically. And what card do we take? Let's, enjoy the moment. Do I have rabbits? I will get Scry later. 2-3. I'm not casting this spell really. So let's go for this one. Has best stats, and we need those stats. Alright. We go with Sewers, so we know what the next card is. It's definitely not the best card ever. And that means we go with Fountainport probably. So we make a fish and we sacrifice a fish. And we don't need to attack because we have Virtue, so we are drawing basically 2 cards a turn. And our opponent cannot do anything about it. And this is how we beat top 1000 Mythic players with, just an anti-aggro control. Alright, thank you Shuffler for this auto mulligan. So we instantly got punished and we have to start with 6 cards. Because there was no decision. We had double colorless mana and nothing more. So we had to instantly go for it. We need to get Intimidation Campaign value, and definitely not a Disfigure target, so let's keep playing our cards. We will probably go for the Throated whenever 4 more card types. The Innkeeper's Talent. They will probably level it up, right? I think that's the play. And in response we kill the stuff, so they cannot get the ward. And even though they have the talent, which is really good for them, they don't really get any value here. Let's go Fountainport. We need to ramp into 5 mana, so we deadly cover up after he goes crazy with the board. And then we get Silver Scrutiny, we redraw, and we should be ahead back then. Man, it's very interesting they went with the Foundry. I like this play, it's a good one. This will be very, very problematic to get rid of during the game. Still, it costs them a lot of value as well. Do I double? This is a hard one. This is a hard one. I probably go with Sewers. I think I still need more cards. Definitely not the draw we need here. They will probably just keep activating it forever and hope this will win the game on its own. And you know what? It might. It actually might if we don't get the right cards. We have removal against this, but we need to draw it. Yep. Drawing cards and life gaining. If they play something with 2 toughness, we disfigure it, we crime, and we get the extra value. But on the next turn we probably go Scrutiny anyway. Yep. I mean, this will be a problem, unless, we draw a card that wins, and then it won't be a problem. They know we have something, but they probably don't know what. Yeah, I think their whole game plan will be basically playing Foundry every turn. And we draw the card, so we win. See how easy the standard is? You just need to draw the right cards and then you win. So, that's it. They will probably go for it again, I would guess. If they don't, it's even better for us. They still have quite a lot of cards in the hand, so they should have like wave 2 basically. Another talent, sure. So they really wanted to accelerate this whole thing, I mean, we do it now. We do it now. We pay 3 life. We paid the extra mana. They didn't level it up, so we don't need to double pay the ward. We don't really use this mana anyway on this turn, so it doesn't matter. But generally it's better to, remove it before they get protection. And by protection I mean ward 1. Yep, we resolve, we pay, and we kill. So our opponent gambled his whole strategy on maybe he won't get removal for this card, and we got removal for this card, and that's it. Alright. I will go with Mirrex. Second Disfigure is actually pretty good, because that means even if he plays a 3-3 or something, we can kill it for a very cheap cost. I would love to play Silver Scrutiny. I'm not doing it main phase for more cards, because I think we don't need it. Alright, do I double remove it? and make a fish. Not sure about this one. Maybe I should just play Intimidation Campaign and keep Disfigure as the answer. Maybe that was the better play. This is super annoying, not gonna lie. I'm not sure if they have something to protect this. I hope they don't. If they do, we will have to go the cover-up road. That's it. This is the moment to cast it. It generally shouldn't be anything like, you know, Snakeskill Veil, but you never know. You never know with those decks. But they don't have high enough targets that it really protects anything. Alright. I think it doesn't change anything, right? Sure. And that should be the turn. Do I want Fish or Mirrex to start pressuring them? I think we can just go with Mirrex. I don't super need to block. I will sweep the board anyway, so I want the extra card if anything. And you know what? Our opponent can do whatever he wants on this turn. Because we are drawing 4 lands and a short. I tell you, man, my Silver Scrutinies are just the best. They nearly do something. Man, I drew 5 cards and I got 1 card of value. So basically, if I had a card that cycles itself and draws Sheoldred, it would be the same value as my Silver Scrutiny for 5. So that's a little bit on the low side, but we'll make it work, guys. We'll make it work. If he misses on 1 turn, that's also pretty darn huge. Yep, and that means we can Intimidation Campaign with Sheoldred in the board. And that's really huge. We'll also play the Reef for extra pressure, because soon we are going for the Lifa. And I mean, go my little Mirrex, show them that the poison is here. So our opponent will get some insane creature on this turn, but we'll try to kill it with Go for the Throat, then Crime, then redraw, and keep doing it until one of us dies. And it won't be me. It won't be me. It's interesting when they invested so much in this Mishra's Foundry play. But this was a good idea, man. It is resistant against the Cut Down. It is kinda resistant against Disfigure and Go for the Throat. So those are like the most popular removal spells. But we play more. We came prepared. They can kill the Intimidation Campaign, which is not amazing for us. But they didn't keep the mana. That's interesting. We can draw the card with Mirrex, so that's nice. Like with the Might to be specific, and Fountainport. And oh boy, this is so good. I can just draw cards, right? And then we go Deadly Cover-Up on the next turn. I really like this play. So let's go 4, 7. Sure. I mean, there's no way we are missing again, right? Yep, this is way better. And I'll tell you, man, this is how you absolutely demotivate aggro decks. Back to 30, easy. Do I want to attack? Not really. I don't think we need to. Alright, first the tap lands. I don't need Demolition Field, so this is what, 3? 3 cards only. 4. And the next one will be a decision. I think we go with the Fountainport, even though it's amazing. But I want to keep all the high value cards here. So we sweep the board and then we start repopulating with Virtue. I'm not sure what I will remove. Probably, honestly, Mishra's Foundry. I think I will remove Mishra's Foundry to avoid this kind of situation again. Alright, they can remove... Oh man, this will be a huge hit. Because they can kill Sheoldred without blocking. And this is not a fight. Like, Sheoldred doesn't deal any damage. It's just one-sided. So that means the Death Touch doesn't trigger. And it's already 10 damage. Man, if I wasn't at 30, I would actually be kinda, you know, worried by now. What do you do? Nothing. And drawing cards later. So we need to be prepared for that. That also means extra damage with the Might, which is nice. That was a casual 15 damage, out of nowhere, but we don't mind it. So first we attack. Damage will matter. And we have to go for Deadly Cover-Up into Shelly, I think, right? That's the play. I mean, Sheoldred in the graveyard is actually good, so let's go for this. And maybe... no. He wants a lot of cards for his curators, so this is a little bit better. Listen, I'm going for Mishra's Founder. So they have the Hydra for sneaky lethal, very very smart. They were keeping it from us. So that means we kinda need to be prepared, right? This will also get double warding, so we need 4 mana to get rid of it. But we can go Anoint. Man, this actually kills everything because we have Mirrex. It's corrupted. Man, that's kinda crazy. They don't really have too much mana. So they can cast this for what? No, they probably can kill Shelly with this. So let's make sure that, you know, bad things don't happen. We have this figure against the Beast Scholar, or whatever it's called. Beast Scholar. And here's the Hydra. It has the ward because already it has tokens. And he wants to retarget it with a lot of stuff. This has ward too. That means we invest all the mana on this turn. But don't forget we used the 5 mana on Sweeper, so it's our weak turn right now. So if we can mitigate his full turn, actually really good turn, with our weakest one, it's good. And we have perfect mana to answer this. Because this gets exiled, it doesn't die, so as you can see, 0 value, absolute 0 value. I would love to draw lands, to be honest, but you know, it's fine. Now we play Shelly. And we leave the rest mana for removal, probably. Maybe we go 1 campaign? Nah, I don't think we want to. We can always end step this and, you know, recover all the life we've lost since Sheoldred left the board. They have the fight spell, but they won't have a way to use it. So Sheoldred should stay forever until the game ends. As you can see, they have triple class and it's still not enough to fight our value. We are prepared with the removal, and we have Virtue, but we are so pressured every single turn, like he didn't whiff from start of the game until the end. Normally if he whiffs for 1 turn, I just play Virtue and I win the game. Yep. This is the Disfigure target. And they went to combat phase. So now they are not casting this during main phase, so it doesn't get a +1/+1. Well, let's go. You need to time it right. If you mess it up, this wouldn't get removed and suddenly they have a fight spell or something, maybe some counters. And here they lost everything, absolutely everything, and we get the fish. So that's actually also pretty nice. Another blocker, you know. And here's the Hydra. But Hydra doesn't do anything. It's actually to protect him from Sheoldred, I think. So let's go for the Virtue, we live gain more. We start being aggressive, that's 7 damage, so he dies in 2 turns. Ward, we pay. Ward, we pay, but with Demolition Field, that was a bad tap. Yep, this dice we go for 5 damage, 7 at the upkeep, and they need to kill us very quickly, and as you can see, they just cannot. Alright, so our opponent is on the play with a forest, so I expect some creatures that would love to be removed from the game. And indeed, this will be some Gruul deck. So, I really think we go with Anoint with Affliction on this turn, because if that's any kind of ramp deck, they probably have pretty expensive cards, so that means Liliana should hit them super hard here. And we don't even go for this card, so Ballot or something like this cannot happen. Alright, this is actually pretty good. So they want to ramp really hard. I'm not sure if we go Liliana. So we can go for Intimidation Campaign, but I honestly think we have so much card advantage that I will just try to get rid of their hand. And we can sacrifice one of the campaigns, even though it bleeds my heart, because the next turn is Sheoldred. So if we force them to make some bad, you know, hard choices, not really bad choices, but hard choices, they probably keep the payout, which I would guess is a Tali probably. That seems to be the, you know, the most worthwhile card. It's Tyrant and a Tali. And they want to get to the 7 mana probably. Yep. Oh, this is a nice discard target. This could also be the, you know, the 6 mana Dinosaur Discover deck. It feels like it a little bit. we played this. And I mean, let's go Shelly. That will provide a lot of pressure to our opponent. If we top deck a land on the next turn, we play Scrutiny main phase probably. And then we go Liliana, and you know, we are working toward the ultimate. Our opponent is at 6 mana, they need 7 to do probably their, you know, big things. And they need to protect the cards in the end. Alright, let's see it. If they play a card, we get them to 0. Well, unless they are going with... I think they lost, right? They actually gambled this. They can plot this and try to get at least one card. I expect this to be a 7-drop. Oh, they just played it. Alright, very interesting, very interesting. So I can kill it. And they have what, 6? Yeah, I think we go for the card. It's very, very aggressive, but I honestly think it's worth it. Yep, they are protecting their 7 drops and they hope they will top deck land on the next turn. We got rid of their card advantage and now we can start attacking to get lethal, you know, into management basically. And if they don't have a haste creature with, yeah, like this, they need a very particular draw. Alright, I mean, they're getting really good cards, but they're not going for the ramp. Yeah, they're close to it. Pretty close. Oh, I don't have the I don't have the mana. Alright, so do we split their mana? It feels like something we should do, right? Let's go. Let's show them how to Liliana. Alright, very easy choice. We split their mana base in half because they don't have time to recover. I would love them to have a non-basic land so I can Demolition Field, get second blue. If I realize that I don't have the mana to cast my Scrutinies, I would probably keep one Intimidation Campaign. But it's very low value compared to Scrutiny. And they should take the pile with red, this way they have both colors, so it's not a very hard choice, we just need to wait until our opponent figures it out. Correct. And we smorg. And now we need to kill them before they recover to 5 or 6 mana. We should have enough removal and cardo so we can, you know, keep up. They also need to top deck a land every turn, but we are mana screwed on and triple Scrutiny right now. Our opponent is mana screwed because of Liliana ult, so honestly we are still in the worst position. But we will win, because we are good at magic. Man, this is so crazy. I cannot use Demolition Field, I have symmetrical mana in this deck and I couldn't get my second blue. And yeah. Yep, and they need to win the game on the next turn or at least make a blocker. And I think they probably cannot. They don't have too many cards with 4 mana. They might play a ramp creature and try to chomp block, so that gives them an extra turn. That's probably their best play. They drew the land, so already good draw on their part. And it wasn't enough, and that's why Sheoldred is so good to just accelerate those lethals, so suddenly they cannot just wait forever for drawing something at some point. Going first, the mana base is a little bit sketchy, but I'm sure we'll keep seeing a lot of aggro decks, right? Right. Alright, here you go. Here's your aggro deck for the day. We have Demolition Field, so we can go for the Virtue. I kinda like it, honestly. It's not like they have something bigger than, you know, cut down target, right? So they can, you know, deal 0 damage. Always fun to do. And let's see it. They can use the Mouse Hero, yep, as expected. They gave us the time to play our cut down, so we wait until they cast something. This seems that they didn't have a 1 mana spell, which is super weird. I really expected them to have it. 1 damage, sure. Sure. What is their draw? I think I will go with this. They will take black mana probably. I think they should have 1 basic. They might not, because this is probably splash for Sellsword only. I could risk cut down, but I'm not sure if they really have nothing. That's so weird, man. I will go with this. It fixes our mana. It might trigger them to do something, so our turn is a little bit easier. Yep, they take the mana. Very interesting card to have in this deck. Doesn't really deal damage, right? I play Shelly and I'll win the game. That's my idea for the turn. Alright. And the damage starts. So I think that we kinda give up hero and we will try to race against it and we'll kill the next creatures. We can also go Silver Scrutiny, but I would love to cast at least, you know, it for 3 mana. Oh man, this is such a weird one. Alright, let's play the Shores. Will they go for double block? We could force some very interesting trades here. Let's mark. I want to lethal them. Alright. They don't seem to care. So they should probably tap this, but this will trigger me killing the hero most likely. Cool. That means we get dealt only 1 damage, which is nice. I'm not casting Scrutiny then. We probably go for a Bitter Triumph, maybe on the life total, right? I think we pay life. So let's see. They can attack with the Dread Knight, but it doesn't do too much without buff. Down to 19, so we are still higher than our opponent. And they need to play more. And here it comes. Here it comes. However, we are livening a lot, and with Silver Scrutiny we can literally just ignore the full pain and just try to raise them. I don't think they can deal enough damage. And don't forget, they will lose the game on the next turn because it's Reef, Sheoldred, and 2 damage from the burn. Sure, go for it. My red champion with some random color added for, you know, this guys. Alright, we go like this. We draw 3 cards at the end step, we get more value, and honestly this is such a game right now. So I could go for the lethal, but it's just so good what we have right here, that maybe we don't even need to. I don't think... Oh right, they have things like this. Creature of Flank. You know what? Show me. Show me how you defend my red champion. I want to know. Yeah, that's what I thought. Right, we're on the draw. Our opponent is already eager to play his red mountains, and let's allow him. By being on the... Oh! Alright, okay. Man, it's way more common to see Azorius mana into an aggro than Azorius mana into control, which is crazy. Yeah, Boros is more popular than a control deck. Alright, let's see it. This should be Case? Alright, very interesting version. Let's get rid of the Warden while we can. Because he doesn't have too many creatures and he relies heavily on, you know, activating those artifacts. Wow, impressive. As you can see, all you need to win in Mythic is single removal spell when you need it, and that's it. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed all the creatures dying in absolute pain and torment. You know, I'm a control player, so when I see a creature I find it super cute, but its places in the graveyard, alright? Or in the exile zone. And honestly, Anoint with Affliction is a really nice card right now, just because you don't need to corrupt it, even though I put Mirrex especially to get this as a basically removal for like Sheoldred or something, but the point is that the exile goes around all the death triggers, so scamps, mouse. You also don't have any problems with recurring creatures if you are playing against the bat and, you know, Zora line trying to get the reanimation triggers from something, or even this White Season that tries to take a some permanent that is 3 mana or less. I think it can be a creature, so when you exile, you solve a lot of problems with this one, and it definitely performed for me. With things like Disfigure and Virtue, you can very often kill a creature while getting its power to 0, and by creature I mean a red mouse that is trying to blaze into your face for the lethal, and you can feel the difference. Suddenly you very often are at 18 or 20 and you are in no trouble of dying. So yeah, definitely a very cool build here. But before we go further, I want to say a huge thank you for all the Patreon members. Thank you guys for supporting the channel and making content like this possible, and, you know, just saving us from the merciless YouTube algorithm that doesn't like some of the decks, so we cannot really showcase them, but with your help maybe we can. So thank you for that, and I'll tell you, man, it's so funny because the only blue parts in this deck are basically the cardo to draw more removal. That's the idea. If you go just black removal, at some point, if your draw isn't good enough, you just don't have enough removal spells because your opponent has one creature and you have 0 removal, and that's it. That's why you need to redraw with 4 Silver Scrutinies, Teferi, and this Intimidation Campaign that has 2 effects basically. Not only it draws you a card, but it also stabilizes you, so if you are in this range of, 1 to 3 life, it really makes a huge difference. Sometimes you can get the extra hit from your opponent. That means maybe you can tap for Silver Scrutiny, draw 5 cards, and suddenly win the game on the next turn. Also, the synergy between Sheoldred, Campaign, and Silver Scrutiny is absolutely amazing, and so is with Teferi. You didn't see all of the games because I played some on the unranked, and I had a hilarious game when I just had Teferi, Sheoldred, and Silver Scrutiny with campaigns, and I just kept drawing cards. I think I got this to 16 loyalty before my opponent just gave up. I don't know what they were doing in the game for like 7 turns before, but they wanted to play, so we played. Sheoldred is such insanely synergistic with the rest of the deck. First, you go Virtue, and after that you cast it for 7, and suddenly every turn until end of the game is probably your Sheoldred. That means you always have this in the board, and most of the aggro decks cannot beat this combined with your cardo. If you play one huge Silver Scrutiny, you see what our life total can become. 30 is absolute norm. With Intimidation Campaign, suddenly you life gain 3 per campaign, and with Disfigures that made, you can, for 7 mana you can Intimidation Campaign, Disfigure something, and Intimidation Campaign. This is already 6 life, which basically lets you ignore one of the creatures forever. So this is a really good deal. You don't need Cornucopia for this life gain engine, and as always it mitigates one of the problems of the Mirror, not enough life gain. So I think sure this is absolute necessity or necessary. I just combined those words like like it was a melt ability. So yeah, definitely a nice one. Honestly, Teferi maybe could be skipped depending on your meta. I tried to, keep some value in the deck so we can fight, value decks with this. With Sheoldred, Virtue, Intimidation Campaign, all the cardo from Scrutiny, and possibility to extract cards, together with Teferi making tokens that can be a lethal threat. I assume that we can try to beat decks even a bit higher value than, all the aggro decks. We have also Mirrex, Fountainport, Demolition Field, so our land game is also pretty strong. So that was the idea. You can go a bit more aggressive and just go 4 cut downs, maybe more Virtues, maybe more Afflictions, so it depends on you. However you want to punish red decks, the option is here. So I hope you enjoyed it. It was a fun deck. Oh right, you won the score. We went 5-0 with this one. I know, like what the hell. I won 5 games in a row of this one because I killed all of the creatures that were trying to go to my face, and that was enough. So we ranked up. Yeah, not more to say. This is where we are, and all you need to do is just play enough removal to kill every creature that is trying to kill you, and that's good enough. So I'll take it, I kill them, and I will take my wins. So hopefully you had a great time, and see you guys tomorrow.